Yeah, I'm paid to take care. I'm paid to take care of these kids. And
but my daughter said that you told her don't play with these children.
Yeah, I
do know this is a public area? If you don't want other children playing with them, you should probably take them to a private area, right?
But I am responsible if something happens.
Was my child harming them?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Was she being disrespectful?
It'll be fine. No worries.
Was she being disrespectful?
No, not at all.
So why did you feel the need to say something to somebody else's child?
I really don't. I don't
have our kids being with our kids. We have to have it.
Okay, so why would y'all bring them to a public area?
I don't have a good answer for that, and you're absolutely right. Okay?
Y'all should stop bringing them to a public area if y'all don't want them to interact with other kids that are here that's enjoying the public area. Okay? Okay?
To say, oh, you can't play with us.
Right. So, y'all see this, right? Y'all see this, right?
Yeah. No, before you walked over, I said something to her already. You okay, baby? Okay, you're fine. Do you want a snack?
Why are you bringing kids to a public area and telling other kids not to play with them? Or stay away from y'all kids in a public area? That's what my daughter said.
I didn't stay away. I said they're not, my kids aren't allowed to play with anybody else.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Great. What organization do you guys work for? What organization do you guys work for? Are you right? I don't need to know. It's just I need to know what organization they work for that says they gotta bring kids to that says they can't, you know, they're bringing kids to a public and then telling the children not to come near. What? I'm not going crazy, right? I'm not going crazy, right?
Oh, Kiki.
All right. I'm not going crazy, right? And I am. And I'm going. My daughter came over there and I couldn't believe it. Like, are you serious?
Oh, no, before you walked over, Girlie.
Are you serious?
That
part. Now, just
why they gotta be segregated? This is a public place. All kids should be allowed to play with all kids. This is why kids is being racist towards other kids and acting the way they are, because the parents is treating them that it's okay to not be with black kids.
Mind you, this is one of the people she was sitting right here when she said what she said to my child.
I'm highly upset about that, because you're a Caucasian lady. You got your kids out here. Other kids is playing with other kids. Why can't your kids play with our black kids? Our black is not going to rub off on y'all kids. Come on. This is a new millennium. Get it together, people. Get it together.
That part. Then she said the organization that she works for cannot have other kids around the kids. No, she didn't. I asked her what organization she worked for, and she wouldn't tell me. We're downtown. Public place.
You know what? This is the problem that I have with this video. Out of all of the times that people could potentially teach their kids, and I'm talking about for the black women there, to teach their kids not to tolerate that stuff, they're trying to teach their kids to tolerate. They're trying to teach their kids that, hey, if somebody says this, you need to, in a sense, confront them, and you need to do this. No, it is what it is. The woman, she has every right to sit up there and state that, hey, I don't want my kids to sit up there and play with them and all this. She has every right to sit up and say that. Like I said, I'm getting tired of the whole thing where people are doing this whole thing where you want to try to educate and you want to change somebody's mind so that y'all can be harmonious and live together and all this. It don't make no sense. That woman is too old. It's nothing that you can educate. It's nothing that you can hand or give her that she doesn't already know, has not already seen, passed directly by, or has an understanding directly of. She's old enough to know. She's old enough to know. I can sit up there and say that little girl that was with the black one, I think that was her daughter. I can look at her. She wasn't going to do nothing to nobody. She's the type, she just wants to, you know, make friends and potentially play with other people and just, you know, live life. But it's, you know, it's like that. Maybe what potentially happened is that woman saved you from the instance of dealing with those kids and potentially what it is that they may do. how it is that they may treat her, deem her, value her, respect her. Maybe she specifically saved her, right? But what she basically did was, in a sense, embarrass not only the kid, but also herself, because the conversation didn't even need to go that long. The video didn't even need to go that long. Once the lady said what she said, it was nothing else to understand. Everything that was said was already understood. It was up to you as a black woman there with those kids to move accordingly, to show them how it is and what it is that you were supposed to do during that situation. You cut off all contact, even if you are directly within that exact same area. You don't sit up there and speak to them no more. You don't give them no attention. You get your chairs and you turn right around to the other side of you know, the little park area, whatever it is that you see the kids. Your kids go over and play at a specific park, and that's exactly what it is. That's how you sit up there and do it. Like I said, you apply and give people the exact same energy that they give you. And if that means that whoever those kids are, they got to sit up there and suffer the consequences, and their feelings got to sit up there and get hurt, then their feelings get hurt. At the end of the day, that woman is the one who, I'll probably slide this in somewhere, maybe at the first part of the video. There's a white woman that I've used before in these videos, and she stated that white women are the main protectors, right, when it deals with racism in their community, because they're the ones who teach it, have the whole indoctrination techniques, and they're the ones that basically keep it alive, right, because they are the history. They are that level of knowledge, you know, when it deals with that. And that applies directly with this woman here. That also applies directly, I want to say, maybe to the older daughter that might have been a teenager that was in the middle. And that also applies to the other woman that was sitting up there eating. And she decided not to say anything a little bit later on and not give any more replies. Once the mother was asking, she was like, yo, so who is it that you guys are affiliated with? Who do you guys work for? And hey, it don't even matter. It don't even matter. Because all that's going to happen is that she's looking for a racist come up, which basically means it's been happening for over like 10 years. So it's not like a once in a while, a once in a thing type of thing. It happens, and it happens very, very frequently. Like I said before, all that's going to happen is you find out where she is. You find out her job and everything of the sort. You put the information directly out there. You let her job knows. She may face problems or get fired. She'll post it. She'll then go on social media, post some type of sob story, and you'll have people feeling sorry for her and then looking at you like you're the crazy one and calling you the actual racist. You'll have black conservatives deciding to donate money and talk about the story and call you a racist. You will have white conservatives talking about the story, posting the story, reposting the story, also cutting the story to frame it and make it as though that you are the bad guy. How is it possible that they can sit up there and do that? I mean, well, before I get there, and then they're going to raise money for her. She'll probably get 100,000, 50, 100,000, maybe potentially $500,000, just depending on how people decide to push it and how they want to sit up there and frame it and how much energy and traction to basically get. She'll basically become a celebrity overnight, right? But how could they potentially frame the story in such a way that that happens? In this video, the lady started to raise her voice, right? And that's the main go-to. That's the main thing that they'll sit up there and basically step and look, oh, look at the black. She's raising her voice. She's 2 seconds away from what's the stereotypical stuff that they like sitting up here saying, name-wise, they want to sit up there and call people like a Shakisha, Shaquana, like anything that they can basically, you know, list as a stereotypical name because they don't know anything else. They'll list that as her name, basically state that she's going to rage directly out. And it was a few seconds before violence was going to ensue because, you know, that's what they do. That's what they're all about. That's they don't know how to be civil and just disagree and use it. Right. It's going to be that thing. And then what they're going to do from that is they're going to take some random video online and then they're going to try to draw parallels and correlate that into how this could have potentially, you know, went worse. And no, it wouldn't have. It would have. Like I said, if it was going to go there, it would have been gone there. That also further shows that these people don't really know anything about black people at all, even when it deals with stereotypes. Because like I said, there's levels to a lot of things when it deals with black Americans. But again, they don't know anything about that. They just know racism and see that. That's the only lens that they pretty much have at this moment in time. But, you know, like I said, all I'm saying is that it comes to a point in time where as soon as people sit up there and tell you this, there is no more back and forth. Because when you go back and forth like this now, it makes it seem as though that you want to go beyond their words and you want to try to be on some MLK, you know, type of stuff. Yeah, it's a public park. Yeah, she decided to bring those kids to a public park and she wanted to enact, you know, the type of, you know, thought processes that she has and what she's trying to instill into the kids. Was she wrong for it? Yeah. Does she have the ability to do it? Yeah. Did she sit up there and say anything racist about anybody? No. So it's like, it don't even matter. Even if she did, it don't even matter. it just don't. It's like, yo, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Make sure you keep an eye on people, but just sit up there and leave it alone. The exact same way they sitting up there saying if they don't care about you and to ignore you, you do the exact same thing back. And that's the problem. When you happen to give the same value that they give you, when you give that back to them, they don't like it. When you give them the exact same energy they give you, they don't like it. Or actually, if you give them a different type of energy of which that they're not used to and what is not what they thought that they were going to receive, it leaves them confused and even more angry. That's the other thing that I've learned and understood too. When you don't react in the way of which that they were taught, because they run on this little playbook, they get frustrated, angry, and mad because they don't know what to do with that. Because they know how to react if they automatically know it's like, okay, I did this, so now their reaction is going to be this, so then I do this and then they're going to do that, right? When it messes up that whole plan, people get very angry and very confused real fast, and it's not going to be black people that's going to be, you know, directly in all of that emotional injury. It's 9 times out of 10 them. I've seen this before. It doesn't matter if it's videos about restaurants, especially if it's the police, they're the ones that get hyper angry real quick because they don't have anything to feed off of. Like I said, go watch some of these videos where you see white officers stopping black folks and they're trying to antagonize, right? They're trying to provoke. They're trying to do everything in order to have any one of the black folks there act a certain type of way that they expect them to act, to give them the justification, and it doesn't happen. And then they start going overboard. Instead of them going by levels, which they would normally go because they can read and plan out what they're going to do, when it goes totally against the grain, totally against the plan, what it is that they have an understanding of, they get ultra angry very fast and very quickly. And that goes from words to violence in less than 5 seconds. It goes from words to violence in less than 5 seconds. So like I said before, people are used to a stereotype. They don't know anything outside of that. Now, again, these same folks, they'll try to list like, oh, Colin Powell, Barack Obama, which it makes no sense for them to even list Barack Obama, because a lot of them sit up there and say that the country is so race and so divided because of Barack Obama. Even the black Republicans will say that. And the only thing that they're basically saying, which is telling themselves, is that we could easily ignore the blacks and overlook them and not really pay attention, but we couldn't do that any longer once that there was somebody that looks like them in office. Now we had to focus. Now we had to acknowledge. Now we had to pay attention. Now it was impossible for it to overlook because you put it directly in our face. You're the ones that are really racist because you put this man directly in office. That's all they saying. It's cool. It's cool though. It be like that though. But like I said, you gotta stop trying to fight with these people to be within the exact same space or to have your kids playing directly with them. If you look online, right, you'll clearly see that they don't want your kids. It doesn't even matter if it's babies. They don't want your kids at all near their kids, and that's completely fine and dandy. That is completely fine and dandy. Because there has come a point in time when it deals with the United States that everything needs to go back to a certain way. Like, and for me, I'm going to sit up there and look at the 90s and the 2000s, right? Everybody in the 90s and the 2000s, culture-wise, were of their culture. Everybody acted of their culture. It was a few far and in between that wanted to, you know, do some other things, right, from other people's cultures. But other than that, the mass majority was, you know, white culture, black culture, Latin culture, Asian culture, you know, all of that type of stuff. I'm not talking about, like, you know, cartoons, manga, Super Sentai, you know, all the other type of stuff that people sit up there and list. I'm talking about how people would normally act, talk, walk, and everything of the sort. Like I said before, go back and look at the 2000s and look at how white boys were moving. Look at how they were singing. Look at how they were dressing, doing music and everything. It was of their culture. It was of their surrounding. Now we're at a moment in time where people don't even do that. It's such a confusion. And because there's a confusion, now you got a whole bunch of white boys out here acting and talking as if they're black men. I'm like, how do you get that far? How do you leap that far from your culture and your teachings? Like, didn't they sit up and say the statistic? Now again, remember, this is a content creator who did statistics on black fathers in the household. So I know what the stereotype is. I've cleared that stereotype, used the stats of the CDC against that stereotype and everything. So I got to put that directly out first. But haven't they always put out there on every single television show and form of medium that they got for white communities to basically show that fathers exist 100% of the times, you know, when it deals with the descriptions of their families? So it's like, how do you go outside of mimicking or acting like that man or the men within your communities? How do you opt to peer into another community and be like, I'm going to absorb and take that? Those are the men that I'm going to sit up there and be like and try to and grow up and emulate. That doesn't even make any type of sense. That's the weirdest thing possible to ever see. The same exact thing when I sit up to see white girls trying to mimic and emulate black women. It's very weird. It doesn't make any type of sense. That is not your people. That is not of your people. That's not your culture, right? That's not anything that you've been doing or how it is that you've been talking or even representing yourself at all. That's something that you just decided to attach yourself directly to because of whatever hurt and pain that you're going through by way of your own community. Because in a lot of instances, when you even talk to those white folks, when you take out that hurt and pain that they went through by way of their own people, then they would have been talking, acting, walking, and dressing and everything of the sort. Like I said, it's mass confusion out here. Like I said, it's a difference between admiring somebody's culture and being like, okay, you know, I like this, you know, this type of thing here. This is actually, you know, like pretty cool, versus putting it on as like a suit. You know, like just like how you change clothes on like a superimposable action figure from, you know, like from the 70s and 80s and early 90s. That's basically the same thing here. Like, it's crazy. But anyways, you know, the whole thing I'm saying to round this all up is, at the end of the day, you happen to hear these types of conversations, you run into these types of folks, let it be. There's no reason to do a back and forth or any of that, you know, type of stuff, or to try to make a stand, to stand on the soapbox. There's no reason for you to try to educate people. It doesn't serve a purpose. Again, that woman is too old. She's in her 60s and 70s. Do you understand the history that she has, that she have seen of black people, of what her own people have done to black people? Do you not understand the history that she has of like the small towns and everything else? Like I said, people keep forgetting. I'm going to keep reminding people, Ruby Bridges is still alive. That woman is old enough to know who Ruby Bridges is. That woman is old enough to know who that is and to have seen her on television. Understand what I'm saying? But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.